For the longest time, learning to code was basically like having a golden ticket. Developers are the architects of our modern world. But what happens when the very tools they built start writing code themselves? And what if they're sometimes even better at it? Are we looking at the end of programming as we know it, or is this something else entirely?
And yeah, this is the question on everyone's mind, right? You see it everywhere, from Reddit threads to C-suite meetings. Is the entire profession of software development, well, over?
So, the quick answer? Nope. But honestly, the real answer is way more interesting. We're not talking about an extinction event here. It's a massive, massive evolution. The job isn't disappearing. It's transforming into something completely new.
All right, so let's get into it. To really get why everyone's talking about this right now, you just have to look at the sheer speed of this change. It feels like we went from simple AI helpers to tools that can pretty much work on their own almost overnight.
Okay, look at this timeline. The crazy part isn't just the change, it's the speed of the change. Just a few years ago, we had tools like GitHub Copilot, which was basically autocomplete on steroids. Cool, but not revolutionary. Then, bam, ChatGPT comes along, and suddenly AI can tell you why your code is broken. But now we've got these autonomous agents, things that can take a simple request, plan the work, write the code, test it, and push it live. That leap from just helping to actually doing, that's why we're having this conversation.
Okay, so how in the world do these things actually, code? It's not magic, but it is a totally different way of thinking about how software gets made. Let's pop the hood and take a look. This is probably my favorite way to think about it, and it's a brilliant analogy from the source material. Think of an AI coder as an incredibly fast junior developer. It's got this perfect photographic memory of billions of lines of code. But, and this is a big but, just like any junior dev, it needs crystal clear instructions, a really well-written ticket, and it needs good guardrails to stop it from going off the rails. It is not your senior architect, at least not yet. And this is where it gets really interesting. These agents work in a loop, over and over again. First, they plan, breaking a big task down into smaller steps. Then, they generate the actual code. And then, this is the critical part, they test what they just wrote. If it breaks, they move on to debug. They look at the error, try to fix it, and then the whole cycle starts again. Plan, generate, test, debug. It's this relentless loop that makes them feel so autonomous. This slide pretty much sums up the state of play today. On one side, you've got what AI is awesome at. All the grunt work, right? The repetitive boilerplate stuff, simple refactors, setting up tests, connecting different services. But look at the other side. This is where it still fumbles. Anything with ambiguity, anything that needs a totally new kind of architecture, and especially anything that's security critical. Basically, anywhere that deep human context is king. So you might be thinking, if the AI is doing all that boring stuff, what's left for people to do? Well, that's where the new human role comes in. We're moving from being keyboard jockeys, typing out every single character, to becoming more like conductors, directing these powerful new AI tools. I love this table because it makes the new partnership super clear. For boilerplate code, AI is amazing, and our job is just to review it and plug it in. Refactors? AI is great at that, but a human has to set the boundaries and define what done looks like. But now, look at the bottom two. When it comes to big picture system design or super sensitive security code, AI is, it's risky. That's where the human has to be in the driver's seat, leading the way and taking full responsibility. So yeah, the really valuable high-level stuff, that's staying with us, at least for now. Things like figuring out what the actual problem is that you're trying to solve in the first place, or designing the whole system, making tough trade-off decisions, dealing with security and compliance, and just talking to other teams. The AI can write code, sure, but it has zero product sense, and it's not going to take the fall when the servers go down at 3 a.m. That's still on us. All right, so theory is great, but how does this actually work in the real world? How do you bring an AI into your team without it causing chaos? Let's talk practical setups and guardrails. And of course, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. If you're a solo dev, you might just use an assistant in your editor and have really strict automated tests. But on a team, the stakes are way higher. You're going to need things like mandatory code reviews for any AI-generated code. You'll want to see what prompts people are using. And you'll absolutely need robust security scanning. It's all about adding those layers of human judgment. And look, we've got to be honest about the risks, right?
AI can and will introduce really subtle bugs. There's also this huge danger of just getting lazy and trusting code that looks right but is totally wrong. And then there are the big ones: data privacy, sending your secret sauce up to the cloud, and accidentally using code with weird licensing. You have to actively watch out for this stuff.
And if you think this is all some sci-fi future stuff, think again. According to the data, a whopping 70% of developers are already using AI tools every single week. This is happening now. The train has already left the station. The question isn't if you should use AI anymore, it's how you're going to do it.
Okay, so how do you jump in without feeling like you're drowning? We've got you. Here's a super practical 7-day plan to start weaving this into your workflow, like this week.
All right, let's break it down. Day 1, super easy. Just turn on a code assistant in your editor. Day 2, set some ground rules. Get your code formatters standardized. On days 3 and 4, you start small. Make a little guide for writing good prompts. Then try using AI to generate some tests for a small, non-critical part of your app. By day 5, you can get a bit bolder and try a controlled refactor. Day 6 is all about safety. Add those crucial security guardrails. And then on day 7, you take a breath, look at what worked, and write down some new rules for your team. See, it's not about flipping a switch overnight, it's step by step.
So what's the big takeaway here? The job title coder is literally being redefined as we speak. The developer of the future won't be judged by how fast they can type. They'll be valued for how well they can direct these AI agents, how critically they can check the output, and how much of their time they can spend on the big picture innovation that actually moves the needle.
So let's go back to that first question. Is coding dead? Absolutely not. But the age of the keyboard coder, the person who just translates specs into lines of code, that's fading away. And in its place, the AI conductor is rising. The person who orchestrates all of these incredible tools to build amazing things faster and smarter than we ever could before. The only question left is, what are you going to conduct?